Hello everyone, and welcome back to Crypto Labs News. I hope you're all doing amazing today because we're heading into one of the most important weeks for the crypto market that we've had in a long time. After weeks of pullbacks and uncertainty, with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP struggling to gain traction, we're finally stepping into a stretch where the US economy and global markets could throw us some major curveballs. And make no mistake, this is going to set the tone for the rest of September, maybe even the rest of the year. Before we dive in, a quick reminder, crypto is risky. You can lose everything through rug pulls, exchange bankruptcies, wallet hacks, or just holding a token that crashes to zero. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. I'll never tell you to buy, sell, or hold. This is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making decisions. All right, let's jump in. XRP right now is sitting around $2.91, up just over 1% on the day, and this is important because XRP hasn't seen these levels since late August. In fact, we just had an unexplained pop over the weekend, bringing us right back to the same resistance levels we saw weeks ago. The $3 mark is in sight, and XRP's momentum over the last few days is starting to get very interesting. Compare that to Bitcoin. It's holding at similar levels, but recently hit as high as 113K before easing back down. Ethereum, on the other hand, still looks weaker, mostly consolidating and sitting far below its highs near $4,500. Solana has been resilient, but also got pulled back to late August levels after a brief spike. So, across the board, the entire crypto market is waiting for direction. Now, technically, XRP just flashed something important. On the 4-hour chart, the 1348 EMA crossover signaled a buy, and that has fueled some short-term momentum. Could this push XRP to $3 in the next few days? Possibly. But we also got a sell signal on the daily chart recently, and the last time that happened, we saw some consolidation before the next leg up. So this could be a short-term fakeout or the beginning of a bigger move. We have to remember that back in February 2025, the markets went through a very strange period, weighed down by external factors like Donald Trump's tariff policies and global uncertainty. That was also the time when Trump himself mentioned XRP, sparking a brief but powerful rally. Price action since then has been choppy, but this week could bring real clarity. Why? Because this week is all about the PPI and CPI reports, followed by the Fed's decision on interest rates. Last time PPI came in way hotter than expected, inflation spiked, and markets dumped hard. If that repeats, we could see another aggressive sell-off. But here's the twist. Jerome Powell recently said the Fed would reduce emphasis on inflation numbers when making decisions. So even if the print is bad, the market may not react as violently. That could explain why pre-markets opened green today and why crypto is already showing strength. Looking at the Fed futures data, there's basically a 100% probability that the Fed will cut interest rates. Around 91% expect a quarter-point cut, while about 8% expect a half-point cut. This is historic. The Fed hasn't actually cut rates since before Trump took office the first time. Now, with direct pressure from Trump in the White House again, the odds of continued cuts later this year are strong. In fact, October already shows a 74% probability for another quarter-point cut. This isn't just about rate cuts, it's about liquidity. Lower interest rates mean more money flowing into risk assets. That's bullish for crypto. And this week's CPI, PPI, and Fed announcement could be the most important macro events we've had in years for Bitcoin, XRP, and the broader market. Now, while the Fed dominates the headlines, whales are making moves behind the scenes. Over the past 30 days, large holders have offloaded over 115,000 Bitcoin, the biggest sell-off since 2022. A lot of that money has been rotating into Ethereum, which explains why ETH has been holding up better than some expected. This is part of the classic cycle. Capital flows into Bitcoin, then to Ethereum, then to large-cap alts, and finally into mid-caps. It's exactly what we're seeing play out right now. Ethereum's strength also ties into another massive story. Fidelity just launched a tokenized US Treasuries fund on Ethereum. This is a big deal. It signals that the largest financial players in the world are not only experimenting with blockchain, they're starting to deploy products at scale. And this is just the beginning. Expect more funds, more tokenization, and more adoption from these Wall Street giants. So where does that leave XRP? Right now, it's been consolidating for months, building a base between $2.80 and $3. If we can break through the $3.30 zone, that opens the door to much higher levels. And from there, a move to $6 isn't unrealistic. That's a 100% return from here. But we need to stay grounded. Crypto moves in cycles. We look at the short-term resistance, medium-term setups, and long-term fundamentals separately. The key takeaway is this. Everything is building up to the Fed's decision. That will decide whether XRP breaks out above $3 or gets pushed back into consolidation. And make no mistake, this is one of the most important weeks for the crypto market in a very long time. As always, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, and remember, I will never contact you on social media asking you to send me money or sign up for anything. Stay safe out there. If you want to support the channel, check out the links in the description, including our partner BTCC, where you can trade long or short with leverage. But please, trade responsibly. Leverage can make you money, but it can also wipe you out just as fast. Exchanges can go under, so always understand the risks. One last note. Fidelity, whales, Trump's tariffs, the Fed, inflation, all of these things are colliding right now. It's the perfect storm, and XRP is sitting right at resistance. Whether we break higher or fake out lower, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and drop a comment. Let me know if you think XRP will finally crack $3 this week. And as always, let's make a lot of money.